What it do, chosen ones? Hello, 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 hello. I am stoked. I'm excited. I just got back from like a little hike/run thing. I took it easy, and I really listened to my body, and I reevaluated like what hasn't been working me for years is getting bored of like the gym, and sometimes like just picking up other like energies and stuff that like I don't want, and I feel like it's not worth it to go into an enclosed space for me to get my workout. Like I feel like I can go and get my workout outside. Like right now it's gorgeous, so I just like went pretty much all the way past Woodlawn Cemetery, and that's like quite a hill. So I like listened to my body. I was like, okay, this feels good, and I like kind of like walked on the grass and just did some like mindful walking, and like I had no phone, no music, and the only thing I had was like my like apartment keys with me. That was it. It was like so peaceful, and I felt like serious peace just like looking into the cemetery after like that like adrenaline or endorphins release of like running uphill for a while. Like it just feels super good to get your heartbeat going, and that's exactly what I've been needing. So just stoked about getting back on the exercise train, and like I feel smart for being able to identify what the issue is, and then reevaluating new strategies. And so it's just movement every single day, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the gym. I was being too hard on myself and saying it has to be the gym every day, but absolutely not. It can be a 1 mile run as soon as I wake up around the block, or around a couple of blocks, to make it a mile at least, or down like the whole Bronx River Parkway, or I can switch it up. Like I'm thinking of it now as like a lifestyle, and was trying to also think about some of the advice I got from Mel Robinson, and the advice that she had for her daughter, when she wanted to like go back to like how she was super happy like years ago and stuff, and like she asked her daughter, well, what were you doing during that time? And her daughter thought about it for a little bit, and she was like, well, I was moving my body quite a bit, and I had a lot of social time, and I was doing this activity that brought me more energy, whatever that activity might be. For you, like, I wanted to like walk the walk and talk the talk, so I want to like do more fitness on my channel and stuff, and so starting to take the idea of taking supplements seriously, eating the right foods, hydrating a lot, and trying new tips like limes and lemons in water makes the water so refreshing, like, and it's so good for you, and it's been really helping me with whatever's been going on. But I feel amazing because I think it's been helping with like passing kidney stones because it's pretty citric, and then I ended up finding that in research, and I was like, okay, cool, so this really was like meant to be like resolved this way, and I just feel like my health is ascending, whereas I think a couple years ago it was plummeting and nosediving, and I've had to change habits, and so I'm just in this like new fitness like mode, I guess, and it's so important. I think there was a couple of YouTubers that I watched yesterday that just like inspired the out of me, and of course it's always TJJ, but there's this new guy that was Sean Zachary, who like was just like I don't know, he like represented like you don't want it bad enough was the title of the video, and I was like, that's exactly how I feel, because I was like, I could go out and exercise, but I just don't, like, I'm just not doing it, and that was for like 2 weeks. I was stuck in that rut, and it's pretty easy to like get out and move when it's this beautiful out and stuff too right now. I think it's like 90 and pretty blue skies, and basically just I think he was like, if you don't want to go to in Sean Zachary's video, he was like, if you don't want to go to the gym, then go out into nature, like go for like a little like run or something and like move your body. And I was like, okay, like that's exactly what I need. And then I feel like in TJ's videos, like, if it's possible, do it. If it's not possible, that's a good excuse not to do it. But if it's possible, you better do it. And I was like, okay, that's like perfect. That makes absolute sense. Like, these are things that I can absolutely do. And then like a comment on one of the Sean Zachary's videos too. This guy said, it's important to take care of the suit that God gave us. And then I commented and replied, I was like, oh, I've never thought of it that way. But like, yeah, absolutely, it is. This is something that God gave me, and it's like best to take care of it. So yeah, just feeling like revitalized, on feeling like I'm on the right path, and it's really powerful and really awesome. And I kind of feel like I get like little bits of confirmation here and there. I haven't really been doing anything like super social, so I feel not entirely isolated, but just very much rather focused, I would say. And prioritizing what I feel passionate about, because it's really important to do what you love, even if you don't get anything from it, like per se at first. But like I was like following those vibes, and so I just kind of like follow the flow of the morning. Like, I did some yoga this morning. Like, my schedule right now is like really free, so I'm able to just kind of flow through the day. And I've been like having really like cool, pensive late evenings, early mornings by myself. I don't really remember a time feeling this much peace. So very, very grateful for all of that, and feeling extremely passionate about what the topic of the video is today. That was probably a really long intro, but yeah, it's sharing another story of how men save the day, or have saved the day in my life. So this is episode 2 of the series, Seriously Storytelling XY. And a little background is I feel passionate about how the modern women in today's society like have so easily and unabashedly normalized disrespecting their partner, i.e. men, i.e. the husband. And I'm exposing prank culture as a way of saying is white middle class people bored with their lives coming up with their own shenanigans for their own views, for their own insanity. I don't know, it just seems like stirring your own pot for, it just seems like extra insanity, like adding more insanity to life is like this prank culture right now. And TikTok trends, and how people seriously just like do a trend without even like just go on autopilot and do a trend without thinking like, maybe my husband won't like it if I crack an egg on his head, and then always get him on camera and like get people feel like they're stepping on eggshells because they don't know if they're being recorded or not, and if they can get the camera out of the face. Like, that sounds like a living hell. And I just don't know what happened to like the good old days of like I don't know, like women looking up to men. I don't know when we lost that. I don't know. I felt passionate about this topic for a solid 2 years now or more. I don't know what's on. Oh, I had to flip the mattress this morning, so that's why this is that. Like, there's this book that I read. I'll try and put the author and title in the link below, in the comment description area. That is the author of this book, but it was this gorgeous like art and basically children's story of a boy, and like I think there was like a couple of animals with him that were his friends, but like it was examining the upbringing of boyhood and then into adolescence and like the difficulties of it, and there's things in it that I remember when I was reading really moved me. And so that was kind of the start, because I felt like there is a lot of focus right now and attention on and feminism and women's rights, and I think that has modern day like landslided. And this is personal opinion, of course, right? This is like my personal opinion of what I think, like especially with the role of social. This hat is so sweaty for my hike run. I'm kind of proud of it, so I'm gonna leave it on. Like landslided the total like socialization and roles of treating men with like basic respect, and not bashing them, and not, I don't know, like having total control over a virtual platform, essentially, since like I would say, I don't know, the past like, I don't know, like definitely the last decade plus. There's been a slow gravity movement where women are just more kind of like lacking, I don't know, I feel like agency and like they're like, we're doing a lot, you know, like don't get me wrong, like lacking agency in terms of like recognizing that what men want is someone is thoughtful, and deliberate about how they spend their energy and how they keep their appearance on the virtual platform. I think it's really unfair, for example, that I'm distracted by my art. There's like mermaid. I've been really into mermaids recently. I'll show you in a little bit. It's pretty sick. Just a slow movement in gravity where women are just effing men over left and right. I don't know. It just seems really not okay. And there's just gender switches and stuff too, with like women being more of the like provider type, or like seen as like having like more masculine traits is okay. And like that is okay. Like there's nothing wrong. But it's like switching. I don't know. And it's like switching, and like there's like examples where like I don't know, it's kind of like, it feels like men look to their female partner for permission in some of these situations that don't look good, and it seems like there's just a lot of manipulation on female side. I see it quite a bit, and I'm not like perfect or anything by any means. Like I have like my own slice of cake and all of this, but like I try and be aware of it, and I'm trying to like fight against like what is going on too in like social media. But you know, it's all an interesting topic to discuss and dissect, and there's differences between men and women as well. And I know we went into like some topic about men and women yesterday too, but wanted to go in further depth about it in like particular specifics of there's polarity that can be activated between like men and women, because we all have like these hormone balances of testosterone and estrogen, and so when it's disharmonic in a union with whoever your partner is, then the polarity won't be activated, and so then it turns into, you know, maybe a cold shoulder at first, and then stonewalling, and then eventually like lack of intimacy. But if it's like polarity is activated because things are in harmony with your partner in union, then there's a lot of like mimicry of just body language, facial expressions, and that's when you can see, like, sometimes people say couples look alike, they look similar, and it's not necessarily that. Maybe they do a little bit. That's happened before. I've seen that plenty. But even if people look pretty, have their own look to them, they're going to appear like almost like some people mistake them for siblings sometimes, because they're just mimicking like each other's it's called, like, I think it's called isopracticism in like body language talk and stuff, like nonverbal behavior and communication. It's like yeah, something like that. But it's you just like mirror them because you're so comfortable with them, and some people don't even realize you're doing it. But that's not, like, something that we'll do when we're like, you know, when we adore somebody else. It's like easy to smile when they're smiling and they're telling a joke or something, and you're just like so happy to be like in their presence or whatever. It's like you're happy, you like enjoy each other. So that's a one way to see like if couples are like gonna last too. Like, just a little something I picked up, at least, like in people watching, or just being observant too, like in different scenarios. But I think it's cool that everyone kind of knows what's going on in social settings for the most part. Like, people, like, I just think it's cool that 70% of communication is nonverbal. I just think that's really cool. Like, because that kind of like ties into as well, like another thing I've been thinking about is like that we're all connected and we're all just like one. Consciousness, actually. There was this time in history class in 10th grade, we were discussing economics, and I'm trying to remember that teacher's name, Mr. Huff. He was like intimidating, and he was like previous, like former military, and graded really hard on papers, like essays and stuff. And he had a really fast walk, and everyone like kind of made fun of him for that. That he would like leave like a little breeze of like air as he walked by, because he was just always like man on a mission or something, I guess. But I was in class once with everyone in my like 10th grade class. I think I had a couple of friends with me in that class, and we were talking about economics, and he said something along the lines of like, why is everything felt, or how is it that the economy, like in China, can like affect the economy in the US or something like that. It was like a question, something like that. And then I didn't raise my hand. I just said, because we're all connected. And his arms were crossed, and his hips were kind of like leaning against like the bookcase thing that was like up against the chalkboard, and his hands were folded, and he just like nodded his head and he went, very good, that's right, because we're all connected. And I didn't even know I was gonna say that. I didn't even know. Usually I always raise my hand in class. I feel like that's just the student I am, but I just like said it, and I was like, whoa. And I felt this energy, like after like that little interaction in class. I was like, I didn't know that. Okay, cool. I guess I just knew that. And it was something like that question along the lines of like, that prompted me. I can't remember, but it prompted me to say, because we're all connected, or because everything's connected. And I remember him kind of like nodding his head like this, like really like, and then I was like, oh, like I'm right. And then I was like, how did I know that? And I was like, so it's something that I've been reading about too, in like quantum physics, yeah, that everything's connected, and it's super, super, super interesting, because actually we're like, I guess, all one consciousness. So I am me, and you are I, and really, yeah, like it's just one consciousness, and consciousness isn't really something that can be defined, but it's so dense trying to explain quantum physics. But I've been listening to some new podcasts and stuff. I'm doing my best to study it so I can share more about it, but every time I like start to discuss it, I'm like, this is hard. But basically the idea of like, we create our own realities right in front of us, and you know, that also validates the fact that we're living in a simulation. And I promise we're going to get to the topic too of how XY, like, also sharing another awesome story of how a man saved the day in my life. And I love talking about this because I feel passionate about how modern day women treat men. Okay, so yes. feel passionate about that. We're going to get to it. But basically, that quantum physics, like, everything's connected, we're all connected, and there's similar realities, and there's similar universes. And so if you could imagine every other choice that you could have made at like lunch today, say for example, there's another universe out there where you made the decision to get number 5 combo instead of 11 with the side of ranch, whatever. Like there's like any decision that you were like thinking between today, like maybe even at work, or choosing making a big decision even with your partner about something, like there's another universe out there where you made that decision and you went forward with it. That's kind of what I was understanding about quantum physics. I was like I could like even back it up like a little bit better, like if I actually tried, but I was just reading it and like absorbed the whole book and read it really quickly, so I'll have to like read it again or something. But I'm super interested in it because it's explaining a lot of things about, like, especially the phrase escape the matrix, or we're living in a simulation. There was this one other time too where I was thinking really heavily in my mind about this one area in Portland that I love to go to and walk around. I love to walk. I love to be in nature and be on like a hiking trail, and just like foliage above me is like my favorite place to be. And I was thinking so heavily about that, and I was just like kind of coming with a creative way to come back home. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, where like you switch up your route on the way back home and you just kind of do a creative route. And I think I was coming back home from like a different area too, so kind of like the George Washington Bridge, so there's a lot of green over there by that river too, that it's beautiful. I love to longboard across that bridge at night. And so I love to go on walks and hikes, and it's like my favorite thing to do. So then I was in Portland, Oregon, and then I was like thinking about, in my mind, I was like, I feel like I'm in Portland, Oregon, because then like my surroundings that I just like happened to like walk around like heavily resembled the look of this one area that I was just happened to be thinking of. And it's like, that's another kind of sign too that you're on the right path, because the universe will start to mimic you. And like yesterday too, for example, I was walking from my bedroom to the kitchen, where actually I keep my eyebrow gel and like a handheld mirror, and I was on my way to go do my brows. I don't think I've done them today. I've just been chilling and running around hiking and stuff, so no. But and then on my way, there's a TV in between right here where this like area is, like the bed and the TV. There's a commercial with somebody getting their eyebrows like done, getting like them shaped. It's exactly what I was about to go do, like at the kitchen. So like that's another sign, like you'll see little, like, the universe will mimic you. Pretty powerful signs that you're on the right path. Something that Trend Genius talks about too. So shout out to all the awesome YouTubers, dude. But I guess we can get on to the last bit of the story. There was a lot of talk there just now about thoughts and one consciousness and peace recently, feeling a lot of peace. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for being a subscriber, thanks for being a real one, thanks for being chosen. And there was this one crazy night. We're going to get into the story. Okay, let's see. This was seriously story time. It was kind of a not too hot of a night, not too cold, but late evening, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. summer night by the waterfront in Portland, Oregon. Near the waterfront, not super near the waterfront, but right a field, like this turf field I like to work out, that was right by this Under Armour facility. At the time, I was in a relationship that was no bueno, and all the classic worst traits that you could think of for somebody in a partner. Obviously like abusive and possessive and verbally physically abusive and spiritually abusive and sexually like all of it. So it was terrible. It was like a 2-year relationship, and it wasn't necessarily sexually abusive. I feel like he did always respect when I said no, whereas other men haven't always respected that. So, but it was abusive in all the other ways, because we wouldn't have lasted so long if there weren't good times. And so we were together for 2 years, and I want to try and be fair in how I represent people, especially past partners. And so I think I'm just obviously there was a lot of bad, but there was some good, which is why it lasted for at least 2+ years. So there was one night there was a fight happening. I can't remember exactly what, but there was actually no exception for this, but he was trying to steal my purse. I don't know what was going on. I think I was talking a lot about how much I loved my purse, and my mom gave it to me. My real mom, so it was a purse that she used, and it was wrapped around me or something, and I was holding it like this, and we were down I don't know, I think I went to the track to go train, and he always had this weird thing about not letting me go anywhere or whatever by myself or whatever. And then so I was training or whatever, I think I went there to do pull-ups and laps and stuff. It was one of my favorite training spots, and I can't remember exactly what started to happen, but yeah, obviously there's no exception for that. Why would a guy be trying to steal his girlfriend's purse? That's effed up. But I can't remember what was going on, but yeah, that is what was happening, because he was tugging at it, and I was using all my strength to pull back, but it was wrapped around me. It was one of those crossbody ones or whatever, and then I was fighting for dear life, because it's something that meant a lot to me, and it was my mother's purse, that's a big deal or whatever. And I think that was why he was being aggressive with my property, because knew it was of a personal item. And then out of nowhere, this guy, not super huge guy, but big enough, I don't know, and his lady, she was sitting right here, but I didn't see her at first, because there was this guy that just came out of nowhere, dude. He must have had the tread of a church mouse, but the brute force of a really pissed off bull or something, because he just came and literally took out my ex-boyfriend right in front of my eyes. And obviously I got to keep my purse, and it's stayed around me and was safe. I just saw I was tugging it, and I was stop, give it back, blah blah, obviously upset or whatever. And then this guy just took out my ex-boyfriend right in front of my eyes, and my ex-boyfriend was not a small guy at all, so, or able to get knocked off his feet easily. So this guy that came was from, I don't know, above, obviously, God sent him to come help me that night, for sure. But he did it an expert too, in an action film, I don't know, say this is my ex-boyfriend or whatever, and then the guy, I don't know how to do this, this, and then the guy just came at him at his waist, my ex-boyfriend's waist, this, and full on wow, took went horizontal, literally an action movie, horizontal, took him out expertly, at his waist with so much force, because I heard the winds get taken out of my ex-boyfriend. I was holy shit. But that was karma being served right in front of my eyes, pretty much immediately, because why would he be trying to take my purse that has obviously my stuff, and it was my mom's, and he was breaking it. He was slowly tearing it. I had to kind of retie it later, but I still got to keep my purse, because that guy came out of nowhere fucking saved the night, and yeah. Sometimes I forget about these things that happen, but yeah. I saw his like lady right afterwards, and she was like in shock. I was like in shock, and then yeah, my ex-boyfriend wasn't even getting up quickly. Like right after that, like that guy literally must have saw what was happening like across the field or something. We thought we were alone at that track. I think like because it was late night. Like we thought I'd been training there for a little bit or something. And then he must have seen, but that guy, I never even got his name, or maybe I did. I obviously, like forgot. Like this was like, geez, 5 years ago or so, and I mean the courage from that guy, just to stand and like he was with his lady. He didn't even have to like save another lady, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's plenty of people that walk past plenty of that goes down in the city, and people don't give two F's, but that was really being taken advantage of in a kind of further away from the city area, and that guy really came to help me out that night, and just the courage it must have taken to get the adrenaline pumped up and completely sprint full speed and take out my ex-boyfriend who was trying to take my purse. And it was pretty clear like that what he was doing is wrong. So yeah, God bless that man. So that's just an awesome story of how men are dope and really are here to save the day. There's obviously good and bad, so that's why I want to share. There's good and bad in every person, but I want to share all the stories where men were being awesome men, you know what I mean, like doing like that, like that's like only something that a guy could do. So that's what I want to talk about, because I feel passionate about equality and maintaining, fostering a really positive communication between men and women on a virtual platform, and maintain a positive culture of equality, and that it's possible, and that what equality means is the balance between each other's strengths and differences, so I want to share those stories too. This is a series on XY. Maybe later I'll do a series of Y, where it was women who came in and saved the day, but it's really important that I started with men first, because I just got so PO'd about the egg crack trend that made me so mad. Anyway, y'all, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Thanks for keeping up my thoughts and everything. I feel like it's just been a flow recently. It's been really, really, really beautiful. Keep that smile on your face. Stay safe. Stay blessed. You know what comes next. Stay chosen. Peace.